The Edmonton Oilers have an impossible decision to make, and it's one that could make or break this year's season as we get closer to the trade deadline. All that more today on Oilers Digest as we also set up tonight's preview against the Los Angeles Kings, and which is the biggest game of the Oilers season up to this point. But if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, make sure you do so. If you're part of the 18% that have subscribed to the channel, I'd like to thank each and every single one of you for helping us support the channel. But if you haven't subscribed, folks, yet, what are you waiting for any and all Oiler news? Oiler Digest is the place to be. And before we get into the meat and bones of today's video, a word from our sponsor, Koho. Are you tired of the same old banking experience? If so, it's time to check out Koho. Koho is Canada's leading fintech alternative to traditional banking, designed to help you spend smarter, save better, and even build your credit all in one super and simple, easy-to-use app. Koho is a Canadian company that offers 4% interest on your entire balance, and this is a non-promotional rate, which means it's one of the highest interest rates in Canada. Yes, with Koho, you can earn up to 2% cash back on everyday spending like groceries, eating out, in transportation. But it doesn't stop there. Koho makes building credit easier than ever before, and the average Koho user sees their credit score rise by 22 points in just 3 months. Plus, there are no hidden fees. You can earn up to 4% interest on your balance and even get a cash advance of up to $250 interest free. Koho makes managing your money fun and effortless, and the best part is your funds in a Koho account are insured by the Canada Deposit Insurance Corporation, or CDIC, up to $100,000 Canadian. Are you ready to take control of your finances? Click the link in the description or the pinned comment and use code Oilers20. Again, the code is Oilers20 to get a $20 Canadian dollar reward when you sign up and add $20 to your account. Check them out. And again, thank you to Koho for sponsoring this video. Not only can you save with Koho, but the Oilers are also hoping for some saves later in the trade deadline, whether it's from Stuart Skinner, from Calvin Pickard, or another goaltender. And we will get into that with ironing the crease. Yes, there's been some questions regarding the Oilers goaltending. I know they've been on a win streak as of late, but the performance of Calvin Pickard on Saturday night had some leading to believe the Oilers could upgrade in that area all together. You can see there's Stuart Skinner and Calvin Pickard making a total of $3.6 million. I mean, that is a bargain for your tandem. But when it comes to the inconsistency of both goaltenders, especially with how good this Oiler team is, many are asking if, hey, can there be an upgrade on this tandem? But just breaking down the stats here, since November 23rd, Stuart Skinner has the 5th best save percentage in the NHL of goalies with at least 10 games played in 500 minutes. Of course, Linus Ullmark with Ottawa in first place, Darcy Kemper with the Kings, Connor McDavid, who is making a very good claim for the Hart Trophy this year, Mackenzie Blackwood, a goalie target that I hope the Oilers would have acquired before the Colorado Avalanche got to him, but a 928 in 16 games for him. But Stuart Skinner, a 922 in 14 of 20 games for the Oilers, and the tandem with him and Calvin Pickard, second with a 913. Only the Kings are ahead of them with a 914 tandem of Darcy Kemper and David Riddick. You can see your Stuart Skinner's career by month. This is a little bit of an outdated graph, but it's still a fantastic graph nonetheless. His best months are December, January, March, and April. We already went through a pretty good December with Stuart Skinner, and we are currently in the best statistical month for Stuart Skinner in January. But, the thing with Stuart Skinner, again, wildly inconsistent with his numbers, and that's an area I think the Oilers can upgrade. I'm not saying, trade Stuart Skinner, but, give him a backup that you can, sort of push Stuart Skinner to play a lot better than he can. Good tandems always push each other. That happened, in the past with the 1997 Detroit Red Wings with Chris Osgood and Mike Vernon. Of course, Osgood originally was the starter, and then Mike Vernon took over. So it's always good to have competition in the crease, not just, a bona fide starter and someone who only plays, sparingly, very, very sparingly, unless you're the Winnipeg Jets. Of course, that always seems to happen with Connor McDavid and whoever they throw behind him, whether it be Eric Comrie, Laurent Brossoit, or just, a random janitor off the street. Seems to work for the Winnipeg Jets. But with Mackenzie Blackwood already traded to Colorado, it's largely a moot point as there aren't any great trade options left to help Stuart Skinner. The Oilers have made their bed with Skinner and Calvin Pickard in net, and it's working right now for the most part. They'll certainly take this version of Skinner and just have to hope that it sticks around. But what if it doesn't? What if it, Stuart Skinner, again, goes wildly off course? Looking at the TSN trade bait here, the only goaltender in the top 20 is John Gibson with the Anaheim Ducks at a 6.4 million cap hit. I know many, are asking for John Gibson, but what if you go outside the box here? What if you go out, with another goaltender that, put up much better numbers, and he's just a little bit younger than John Gibson? Not many, not a goalie many would be, expect to be on the trade block, but Karel Vejmelka from the Utah Hockey Club at a very, very generous contract here, 2.725 million. He is in the last year of his contract. I'm not too sure if Utah wants to give up on him just yet, but I mean, they do have other goalies in their pipeline, and I mean, tremendous numbers on this Utah Hockey Club. 2.3 goals against average and a 916. Sure, only 10 wins in 26 games played, but you don't look at that. You look at the individual numbers. Wins are a team stat, but goals against average and save percentage, that is fantastic for Vejmelka. And I know many are saying, well, is Vejmelka even on the trade block? Just look ahead to, or look behind even, at the Mattias Ekholm trade. Not many people had Ekholm on the trade bait, list, but, deals are always being made within the 32 general managers of the NHL, and it would help, Stuart Skinner, again, push himself to be better, because if you get into a situation where this happens again, where he's, pulled in the playoffs, and you don't have to rely on Calvin Pickard to save the day. I know it worked last year for the Oilers, but, lightning may not always strike twice, but it always seems to, happen when the Utah Hockey Club are still in the midst of, the wild card race. They are only 5 points back of the Vancouver Canucks, so hopefully a deal can be made the sooner Utah realizes, hey, we're not going to be in a playoff spot. So, again, Oilers, very, very interesting decision to make, impossible decision to make when it comes to, sticking with your goaltending tandem and, bolstering other parts of your lineup, whether it be on defense or your bottom six to bolster the scoring, or even getting a defensive forward in the bottom six, or if Stan Bowman, he's got no ties to Skinner or Pickard, if, he, throws the fishing rod out in the sea and pulls back and gets a goalie, Karel Vejmelka is that goalie, I would be extremely happy with that, even if, not a whole lot of other deadline moves are made. But that is it for the Crease section of the video today. But we look ahead to tonight, a familiar foe, yes, in the Los Angeles Kings, one that many Oiler fans have seen throughout the years, and quite frankly are sick of seeing them, myself included, as they begin the 5-game death row, as I'd like to call it, against Los Angeles, Minnesota, Colorado, Vancouver, and Washington back at home. So this is only the beginning of what seems to be a very treacherous schedule for the Oilers, aside from maybe the Vancouver Canucks. But the Canucks, they are never an easy out. When it comes to Kris Knoblauch and, facing off against the Los Angeles Kings, he said, being patient with our game. That's, the key to beating this team. They don't give up many chances, and they're one of the better teams in the league at defending. Just waiting for the opposition to make mistakes, because once we force things, we'll be feeding their transition and allowing them opportunities. Yes, Los Angeles is, they're an opportunity team. They will sit back and they will let you, put your foot in your mouth and, mess it up for the rest of your team, and they will capitalize on that, as we saw just a few weeks back as the Oilers were at the Crypto.com arena, or whatever they call it, in Los Angeles, falling to the Kings in overtime. And we got some changes here from Jason Gregor. Stuart Skinner starting tonight, and Josh Brown in as the extra defenseman in exchange for Derek Ryan. So the Oilers will go 11-7, which is very interesting, because they don't go 11-7 under Kris Knoblauch very often. The first line, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, the birthday boy, Connor McDavid, turning 28. Yes, he was just a shy young kid on his way to Edmonton, and here he is, 28 years old, with Zach Hyman. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, by the way, on an offensive tear. Didn't want to overlook that at all. Vasily Podkolzin, Leon Draisaitl, and Victor Arvidsson, Matisse Janmark, Adam Henrique, and Connor Brown, and the the fourth liners here, which will rotate with all three centermen, Corey Perry and Kasperi Kapanen, with Matisse Ekholm, Evan Bouchard, Darnell Nurse, and Troy Stetcher, and Brad Kulak, and Ty Emerson, and Josh Brown is the extra defenseman tonight, just in case the things get a little bit silly. But I don't imagine he'll actually do anything, because he didn't do anything to Nikita Zadorov in Boston. But folks, that is neither here or there. And when it comes to Kris Knoblauch, and what changed, or what does he expect to change from the last time he met the Los Angeles Kings? And he said, they had the last change as they were at home, and they were very persistent on the matchups that they liked. We're not a team that's usually running away from lineup matches, just because with the amount of ice time that Connor and Leon play, it just doesn't make any sense for us to worry about 1-versus-1 or 2-versus-2. So tonight, they got 3 really good lines, and they got depth on their 4th line. They got some good players there too, but they rely on those 3 lines pretty equally. We'll have to play well against them, but we won't have one line play against any one of theirs. So Kris Knoblauch, whether it's, trying to play mind games here with Jim Hiller and the rest of the LA Kings, but sort of revealing his deck a little bit too early, but who knows, chess, mind games, checkers, whatever you want to call it, Kris Knoblauch is playing it. So let's take a look at the Los Angeles Kings. The first line there, Alex Turcotte, Andrei Kopitar, and Adrian Kempe. The second line that has, killed the Oilers many times in the past, Warren Foegele, Quinton Byfield, and Trevor Moore. Last game it was Tanner Jeannot on that right spot beside Byfield, but looks to be Trevor Moore. This was based off the lines from their last game against the Calgary Flames on Saturday night. So, of course, this is always subject to change. Their bottom 6, Kevin Fiala, Philip Deneau, and Alex Laferriere, and Tanner Jeannot on the left side there, Trevor Lewis, and Kyle Burrows on the back end here without Joel Edmondson or Drew Doughty, but still a very stout and tough defensive core for the LA Kings. Mikey Anderson, Vladislav Gavrikov, Jacob Movar, Jordan Spence, Andreas Englund, and Brant Clark. And getting the start tonight, or the tentative starter for the LA Kings tonight, is Darcy Kemper with 12 wins, 2 shutouts, and a goals against average of 2.16 and a save percentage of 921. And you can see there LA was on a tear before they did lose to the Calgary Flames on Saturday night. They did have that one postponed game in LA, of course, thoughts with everybody in LA for the most part there, but, did lose to Calgary on Saturday night, but they did beat, some pretty respectable teams with New Jersey shutting them out 3-0 and beating the Winnipeg Jets into an overtime, and not to mention the 4-3 win over the Oilers a couple Saturdays ago. And these two teams almost could not be even more evenly matched. Apart from their 2-point totals, they boast identical goal differentials of plus 22. They've been 2 of the top 3 teams in the league since the start of December. But guess who is first in the league? Yes, the Vegas Golden Knights. That's how you can run a 7.750 points percentage for 6 weeks and not make up any ground in the standings. Of course, many are saying the Pacific Division is a weak division, but just look at those top 3 teams, and that argument just gets thrown out the window. But folks, huge game tonight for the Edmonton Oilers. Los Angeles, Edmonton, Rogers Place. The Oilers are back at home. Hopefully the crowd is, riled up for tonight. It's always a good one against the LA Kings on Sportsnet tonight. Again, should be, I can't understand it any more than I can right now. Huge game for the Edmonton Oilers. And folks, I hope you enjoy the game tonight. That is it for today's video. Make sure you let me know down in the comments what you think about the Oilers goaltending situation. And make sure you subscribe to the channel and check out Coho in the pinned comment down below, or also in the description down below. Enjoy the game tonight, folks. Take care. Have a great rest of your Monday. Let's go Oilers. I'm Matt.